Hi, Shwam dear.
Shivam, tell me,
Shwam,
Bliss.
everyone. I would like to know how was your day?
I just, I'm still in the book fair. I just came from the book fair. I'm going to go back to the book fair. So, to answer Bliss first, the book fair is good because I'm in London. I'm in London now. I'm in a book fair. And the idea of the book fair is to meet new publishers, new network with new people. And the book industry is huge. So, Bliss, I will explain more to you when you come to Bangalore. But I hope that we will be able to use the book fair to for our books to reach the world. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. It is the divine will. If the book is supposed to reach, it will reach. We do our best. We have a stall. We try to meet people, but eventually it's in the hands of the SIP. Okay,
It's
but it's
the
going.
put the seed on the.
Hmm. Yeah, we put the seed. Correct. So, so today, Ranjana, and then we get to the main subject. Administrator, after Ranjana, you would display the slide again. Ranjana, how do we meditate? People don't know the meaning of meditation. फिर लोग सोचते हैं meditation मतलब एक you must wear a special clothes and special music and you must sit with the backbone erect and then you must sit with some mudra, chin mudra, this mudra, and then finally on a meditation mat. वो करने के बाद अगर माइंड मन भटकता है तो क्या मेडिटेशन का यूज is any use of meditation if the mind is wandering? So what I want to tell you, meditation is to still the mind. The mind is thinking a lot of thoughts. You should be able to separate yourself from the mind. पहले तो मालूम होना कि mind है नहीं. Mind is only a bundle of thoughts. जब thought आता है, thought becomes the mind. So you keep on watching the thought. So you must separate. Ranjana must say, I am separate from the mind. Meditation means what? You observe the thoughts. See, I'm just explaining. You watch me, okay? Watch how I am doing. वो एक thought आया, फिर उधर गया, फिर उधर गया, फिर उधर गया, फिर उधर गया. Observe the thoughts. As you keep observing the thoughts, the mind will become silent. The idea of meditation is only one. Reduce MTR, mental thought rate. Mind can think 50 thoughts a minute. Not in Zoom call, nahi. 50 thoughts, nahi. Zoom call mein maybe 10 thoughts a minute, 20 thoughts a minute. Already people are very advanced in the Zoom call. But mind, sometimes it's the same thought, 50 times in a minute, same thought. अरे क्या होगा यार, अरे क्या होगा यार, अरे क्या होगा यार, अरे क्या होगा यार, अरे क्या होगा, अरे क्या होगा, अरे क्या होगा, अरे क्या होगा, अरे क्या होगा. Then that will be drilling you. You can't do anything. You become paralyzed. So I'm guiding you. Become conscious of the thoughts that are attacking you. Watch the thought. Observe the mind. It will slow down. It will slow down. This is the way to meditate. And अपने इंद्रियों को बंद करो. Don't try to meditate with the eyes open. Don't try to meditate with the news. ये वो अतिक और उसका भाई का मर्डर कैसे हुआ? वो किसी ने गन आके लगा दिया, फटांग फटांग. वो ऐसे मेडिटेशन कैसे होगा? मेडिटेशन हो सकता है ऐसा? Meditation cannot happen with the TV being on. Meditation cannot be happen with the mind is thinking kuch डरावना thought or no, then you cannot meditate. Impossible. Meditation, shut off the 5 senses, observe the thoughts, still the mind, still the mind. It cannot happen overnight. It's a practice. Slowly it will happen. Please try. And if you have a problem, you let me know. Simple method. I'm not giving any complicated, fancy method. Simple method. किधर भी बैठो, क्या भी करो. But objective is slow down the mind. Thank you. Ranjana is through. Administrator, the message for today. How do you live with surrender? My dear friends, how do you live with surrender? admit that fun hung administrator and watch that person. If they are not okay, we can take them out. Yes. Who would like to ask question? Ranjana, और कोई question है? आपका हो गया? Okay. Who wants to ask question? Ranjana, one more question. Yes, please. Yes, Ranjana. Haji.
No more question, Guruji. The
No more
hand was
question.
down. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm putting and your hand is down. So now, anybody else would like to ask question on surrender? We have some new people joining. We are scared क्या है, but we will admit them. अगर कुछ शैतान है तो निकाल देंगे उनको कॉल से. Don't worry. Yes, I've admitted them, administrator. अगर कुछ शैतानी है तो we will remove them. Who has any question to ask on what is surrender? How do we surrender? What is the question? How do you live with surrender? What exactly is the surrender? Can you tell me? Can you all please share your gyan with me? You don't like surrender? Yogiti Naik. Yes, Yogita. Yogita, बोलो.
सर अब बोल सकते हैं? हाँ सर, मैंने आज ही एक्सपीरियंस किया है ये, और मतलब मेरे पतिदेव को आज जाना था चाइना, तो मतलब कल बात हुई थी, कल उन्होंने बोला था कि आज मैं चाइना जाऊंगा, तो सुबह मैसेज आ गया, मैंने जो भी पैकिंग कुकिंग थी वो कर दी, तो फिर मैसेज आ गया कि मेरा कैंसिल हो गया जाना। तो आफ्टर मतलब काफी टाइम पीरियड हो गया, और काफी टाइम से उसका मतलब बाहर जाने का हो ही नहीं पा रहा, काफी टाइम से। तो ही रियली वांट्स टू हैव अ एक्सपोजर, क्योंकि वो आने जाना था। अब जब वो मैसेज आया, आई टोल्ड माय मदर इन लॉ वाज डूइंग प्रेयर, so she started crying and she started complaining. So I said, why you are crying and why you are feeling sad? मैं कहा, मेरे को एक सेकंड के लिए ऐसे ठीक है, इसमें प्रभु ने कुछ अच्छा ही करा होगा, let it be, कुछ तो अच्छा करा होगा, ऐसे तो नहीं। तो मैं तो आई वाज, सर आप माने ना माने, मेरे 0% कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुई, बस मुझे थोड़ा सा हस्बैंड के लिए लगा, मैं कहा यार ही वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग, खैर एनीवेज व्हाटएवर बेस्ट, आई वाज जस्ट नॉर्मल एंड आई सेड प्रभु डज द बेस्ट। मैं अपना नॉर्मल जैसे होता है उसी काम काज में वो सब निकाला। तो 1.5-2 घंटा पहले उसका मुझे फोन आया कि मेरा काम हो गया है और मेरे बॉस ने बोल दिया कि मुझे भी जाना, तो फाइनली ही इज गोइंग। तो आई एम टेलिंग माय मदर इन लॉ, मैं कहा दिस इज कॉल्ड मास सरेंडर, और आज ही मैंने ये वर्ड यूज किया सर, और आज ही मैं आपके सामने हूँ। मैंने अपनी माँ सासू माँ को कहा, मैं कि जब प्रभु को आप छोड़ दो, आपकी विश के हिसाब से नहीं भी हुआ काज, तो आपने छोड़ दिया उस चीज को, और उसके ऊपर मतलब मनन नहीं किया, तो छोड़ दिया जैसे आप नॉर्मल। तो नाउ आंसर केम,
हमारे विश के हिसाब से कुछ भी नहीं होगा।
यस,
हमारा विश करना ही मतलब नहीं है। We should not wish. Accept, don't wonder. Replace hope with surrender. Accept, don't wonder. Replace hope with surrender.
Okay.
इसका मतलब क्या है? See, we should not wonder. ये क्यों हुआ, क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ? Nah, everything will happen. You cannot control. Karma controls everything. You cannot control. So you have to accept. You don't have choice. Okay. Okay. Let's hear some other people also. I'm happy you had the experience today. So Krishna, yes, Krishna.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
And surrender needs trust and faith. And I think when I and mind cease to exist, so there is no sense of doership. When the truth is realized, I think that is surrender. I think surrender also must be in different stages, but now it is that I and mind, the ego, cease to exist.
Surrender also means that we kill the mind. The mind does not let us surrender. The mind will create thought. The thought will question. The thought will say, no, why, no, how, what, how, why, what. No, when we surrender, we accept the divine will. Accepting the divine will is complete surrender. We say, no, we surrender. What am I? I am nothing. Sometimes we think too much. Thinking too much is the opposite of surrender.
So Accepting the divine will वही होता है ना, वो acceptance क्या होता है? What's the meaning of accepting the surrender divine will?
Okay, yeah, they are two different. Why do we use two words then? Why we say accept and surrender? You know,
No.
acceptance is what is done or what's the past. You accept whatever has happened, and you surrender to whatever is going to happen.
Okay.
Clear? I have accepted. Acceptance is what is already done. But surrender is samarpan karna, जीवन जो ये जिसने दिया वही संभालेंगे, जो भी होगा उसके हाथों में है, क्यों है डरना, उनकी मर्जी है, छोड़ दे जीवन अपना उनके हाथों में, जीवन छोड़ दे. This is the meaning of surrender, the ability to hand over our life to the divine.
So that means in a way living in the present moment, living in the
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rajendra, thank you, Krishna. Rajendra ji.
Shivam Guruji,
Shivam sir.
by surrendering we mean that we should not live in a mind state. We should live in a consciousness state of our divine.
Good.
We should still try to understand the law of karma. We should have complete faith in the law of karma. We should understand it properly, not theoretically, but with the realization. What does it mean? And whatever has happened or whatever happens, it happens for the good. So we have to accept it as it is without any protest, and we have to be contented and full and try to be in a state of fulfillment. We have to take the misery or pleasure should not affect us at any state. That means we should live a life of Jivan Mukta. That means that is state of surrender.
Good. Lamba answer. Good. All good points. All good points.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajendra. Bliss, what is according to you, Bliss? What is your question on surrender? Unmute.
You can read, please, what I write.
I can read, of course I can read. So Bliss says, we must accept and navigate the waters despite the temperature in this life, no matter what. We have to do our best, try to accept both defeats and successes. So we have to navigate. Matlab, whether there is tufan, there's a storm, or there's still, whether it is tsunami or earthquake or whatever Bliss says, we have to accept. And we have to do our best. What Bliss is saying, A, B, C, D. Accept without protest, do your best in consciousness, surrender, and live as the divine instrument. So this is what Bliss is saying. Very good, Bliss. Good answer. So, but is there something more? Anybody wants to say something beyond this? Rutanu. Unmute.
Shivam Guruji.
Shivam, bolo.
Guruji, 2-3 days back, I think 4 days back, I had surrendered all my problems to you. Not knowing whether you know it, whether you don't know it, I had surrendered from myself. And I was so happy, I cannot tell you. That night, I had a very nice deep sleep that no, now my problems have only gone. Because the circumstances remained same, no change in circumstances. But there was change in me that I have surrendered.
It's good. That's a very good good way of surrendering. That is complete surrender with innocence. This is like how a child, it's called childlike surrender, childlike faith. So when you have that kind of surrender, like you said, even though you don't know my problem, I surrender to you. So that faith is very deep. That faith is not easy. That is the highest level of faith, where you tell Prabhu, मैंने आपके हाथ दे दिया. Correct? आपने प्रभु के हाथ में दे दिया. प्रभु के हाथ में दे दिया. आप लो ना लो वो I don't care. Whether you take, मैंने आपके हाथों में दे दिया. That is a lot of faith. That type of surrender is not easy to have. Thank you, Ruth Anu. We are getting on to Vanita. Yes, Vanita.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Surrender means it should be unconditional surrender. That's what I feel.
Good. Very
so,
good.
Our body and mind, everything is ego, surrender. Mind is for complete surrender, our mind should be turned away from external objects. And the body, if I say, we should abandon our individuality and form. If we don't remember that, I think we surrender totally. We know pretty well that nothing is in our hands. Nothing is in our hands. So this is the only way we can surrender unconditionally. And it definitely needs practice and purusharth, whatever you see.
Okay, very interesting. I'm just trying to see whether there's some aspect we have not covered. Because surrender is a very deep subject. The subject of surrender is very deep. Samatma, because the others are not with the videos off, so I'm giving opportunity. Samatma, yes, Samatma.
Shivoham, sir.
Shivoham.
Total surrender is when I realize मैं कुछ भी नहीं, तुम ही सब कुछ हो प्रभु. That is total surrender.
Beautiful. Samatma has gone to the next level. I am nothing. मैं क्या हूँ कुछ भी नहीं, सब कुछ तुम ही हो प्रभु, तुम बिन मैं क्या कुछ भी ना. Oh, what am I, oh Lord? What am I for me to surrender? I am nothing. That is another level of surrender. Samatma, the first one, who has taken the discussion now to the next level. Good, Samatma, very good. But that is not easy. That is not easy to be able to transcend the ego, to be able to be in that state of complete surrender. So I told you, surrender means acceptance, accepting the law of karma, accepting whatever has happened, surrender with no fear, no doubt, no fear, no anxiety. Is it easy to live like that, completely living in Ananda, in such Ananda? Is it easy? No, because we human beings are. That's why this Friday, I hope to talk to you all on the subject, how to live in today. If you do not know the art of surrender, you can't live in today. The mind will keep on jumping here and there and here and there. Good, Samatma. Anything else?
No.
Okay, Mandeep is back. Yes, Mandeep, it's your turn. And then after Mandeep, we'll have Sip Kaumudi. Mandeep. Unmute, Mandeep. Yes, Mandeep. You please unmute, Mandeep.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Shivam Guruji.
Sure.
So, according to me, surrender is the last stage. For example, in Gita, we see that initially Lord Krishna tries to kindle the emotions in Arjuna, tries to explain him emotionally. Then he moves to as the subsequent chapters proceed, he moves to the intellect. And when in the last stage of the Gita, he says, when you can't understand anything, when you can't emotionally you can't understand anything, just surrender to me, and rest everything will be taken care of. For example, how we take our flight, we have trust and faith in the pilot that that person is going to take us to the destination, and we are very calm and composed in our entire flight. But if we keep thinking, why is he doing this, why is he doing that, then we can't enjoy the flight, and we'll just be worried. Similarly, this planet, this globe is like that flight. If we don't surrender, unless we have trust in the higher power, unless we have faith in the higher power, we'll always be agitated.
So there are two types of surrender. What you're talking about, the surrender, is faith, or rather unconditional faith, and therefore you surrender. But the other surrender is a deeper surrender, where you get to realize you surrender not out of faith. No, you surrender out of complete realization. You don't surrender. Faith has an element that faith can be shaken. But with enlightenment, there's nothing to shake. What does that do? There's nothing. There's no fear. There's no worry. There's no stress. There's no anxiety. It's all gone. I hope you're getting the difference between the one is the realization, surrender that comes post realization is a very peaceful surrender. There's no stress. There's no anxiety. When otherwise, you know what happens when we surrender with faith? We surrender, but then again, Prabhu, आप है ना? प्रभु आप देखेंगे ना? प्रभु मैंने आपके हाथों में छोड़ दिया ना? That's a little different. I hope you get my point. What I'm trying to say. So we have to reach that point and saying, let me explain to you. Since you brought up a point, since most of the call is over, I don't want to wait. Surrendering to the Leela. What is this Leela? Ye Leela hai Maya kuch bhi sach to na. When you surrender to the Leela of the Lord, and sab to natak hai. नाटक उसका है ये, संगीत भी उसकी है, हम तो बस कलाकार हैं, हम आते हैं जाते हैं. When you reach that state of realization, the surrender is fearless. The surrender is completely divine. You surrender knowing it's a Maya. Huh? So, Maya chupke se aake sach को छुपा के मिथ्य को दिखा के बोले ये संसार सच्चा है. So you surrender, you realize there is some maya है यार, क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है. In the end of the day सबको मरना है, सबको जाना है, तो क्या डरना है? Nothing. So that surrender out of realization in this call, what we are trying to reach, we are trying to reach that state of ultimate surrender. The surrender which will give us such Chit Anand. That surrender in consciousness. So surrender in mind state is different. Now I'm coming. Surrender in the mind state is different. Surrender in the consciousness state is different. In the mind state, you are, Prabhu, मैं ठीक है प्रभु, मैं आपको अर्पण करता हूँ, लेकिन you are still in a mind state. When you're in the consciousness, you tell Prabhu, Prabhu क्या हो रहा है? अरे मैं तो I accept. Huh? Kabul, 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 Kabul. You are willing to accept anything. So Mandit, we want to reach that level. I hope you're getting my point, Mandit.
Yeah, I
Thank
got
you.
Thank you.
Kaumudi, unmute karo, Kaumudi.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes, Shiva Guruji.
Yes. Shiva, bolo.
Yes. So surrender is sir को अंदर करना. Like sir जो है, me को अंदर करना. To give up
Shair
yourself.
will be happy to hear you. Shair will be happy. Surrender.
Yes, yes. Yes, surrender. Or also the literal meaning for me, surrender is to do whatever best you can and then leave the rest. Like do your best and leave the rest. Let whatever the result is there, I will try my best. That is according to me surrender.
No, very good, very good. Because surrender does not mean that we compromise in our actions. Never. That means that we have not done justice to what we are doing. Thank you, Suvinay.
Guruji Shivoham.
Shivoham, sir.
Sir, surrender can only be happen if we have full faith in the Almighty, and we have to detach from all our attachment. Attachment doesn't mean material attachment. Attachment, according to me, is of my belief, my conditioning, and my thought process. We have to detach from each and everything and solely surrender each and every action to God. And whatever happens is the result of the divine blessings. This is, according to me, surrender. What is all about.
So what is your first sentence? What did you say?
Sir, we have to detach from all our thought process, our belief systems and conditioning.
Let me explain what you're saying. What you're saying is very correct, but let's understand one point, okay? It's like this. It's just like saying you're hanging on the rope and saying, Prabhu, मैंने हाथ छोड़ दिया. Or no, you're not hanging to the rope. आपने आपने अपने गले में एक चेन लगा के अटका दिया उधर, और आपने बोला प्रभु मैंने सब छोड़ दिया। अरे चेन तो लगा के रखा है ना। We cling, we keep on clinging. That clinging cannot be surrender. What you are saying, correct? Is what you are saying. Okay, we
Yes,
have
sir.
to. The moment we cling to something, then there is surrender. There is no surrender. Surrender is destroyed. There is no surrender. We have to let go. That's why. What do I tell all of you? I keep telling you all in my in the Zoom call. I tell you all this. Hey ye आस्था मुकम्मल तुम ही हो जीवन में मेरे और कुछ नहीं हो कण कण मेरा तुम बस तुम ही हो और कुछ भी आए जगह नहीं हो. This is a real surrender. The ability to have only one desire, only sip on your lip. This is the highest level of surrender, highest level. And this is what Suvina said in a different way, but I just polished it a little bit. Rumata ji. हाँ सुविना और कुछ?
हाँ मुझे एक एग्जांपल आया था, एक एग्जांपल देना था।
एक रूमाता जी, हाँ बोलिए सुविना।
सर एक एग्जांपल ये देना था कि सरेंडर का मुझे एग्जांपल याद था कि जब हम किसी गाड़ी के पीछे बैठते हैं तब हम उस ड्राइवर को कहते हैं इधर ब्रेक लगाओ, इधर मोड़ो, इधर क्लच करो, और फिर उस पे हम ट्रस्ट करके बैठते भी हैं और उसको हम गाइड भी करते हैं और ट्रस्ट भी नहीं रहता है। तो कभी कभी हम कहते तो हमने सरेंडर किया, लेकिन वो फुल ट्रस्ट के साथ नहीं रहता है, हम वही अपने अटैचमेंट
वो तो जीरो सरेंडर हो गया. That is not surrender at all. Okay.
Yes,
the moment you surrender, you shut up. You have to shut up. You have to shut up. You don't have to open your mouth anymore.
Yes,
okay. Yes, Ruma, thank you. Ruma Daji.
प्रणाम गुरुजी. शिवोहम.
शिवोहम, बताइए.
गुरुजी, we have to live with this principle. प्रभु तुम्हारी इच्छा पूर्ण हो. Whatever you wish, that should be good. That is good for us. और
तो
उसका हाथ हम कभी न छोड़ें.
वो प्रेयर याद है आपको? प्रेयर याद है? मैंने आपको प्रेयर बोला, प्रेयर याद है?
इस वक्त नहीं आ रहा माइंड में.
all Zoom people should know this prayer. Who knows the prayer? Anybody remembers? The prayer is, तुम ही सब कुछ जानत प्रीतम, तेरी इच्छा पूरत हो, दुख में सुख में मेरे प्रीतम, तेरी इच्छा पूरत हो. रुमादा जी, इसको भूलना नहीं.
नहीं गुरुजी.
तुम ही सब कुछ जानत प्रीतम, तुम ही सब कुछ जानत प्रीतम, तेरी इच्छा पूरत हो, दुख में सुख में मेरे प्रीतम, तेरी इच्छा पूरत हो. This is the way to do it. Krishan ji.
Shivam Guruji. According to me, surrender is without expecting anything, accept everything, and don't use your mind. Just surrender and take everything as a prasada of God.
Beautiful. Look at this. Look at Krishan's. See, surrender matlab Prabhu, whatever you give me, prasad, it's a prasad. I am willing to accept it. You don't go to the temple. In the temple, the pujari gives you coconut. You don't say, pujari, coconut nahi chahiye, masala dosa do, masala dosa. You tell the pujari, masala dosa do prasad. हमारे मंदिर में मंडे नाइट को लोग आते हैं, हम गरम इडली खिलाते हैं. राजेश, if you come on Monday night, you will get गरम idlis, hot, fresh, hot idlis. At 12 o'clock in the night we give. Then sometimes people ask, क्या हुआ आज इडली नहीं मिला? इडली नहीं, don't worry about idli. You're not come here for idlis, you come here for the show. Thank you, Krishan. Good one. Rajendra.
Sir, a child in the lap of mother feels most secure and blissful. He never thinks that he will fall, whatever the ambience is around. So, accordingly, we have to be in an attentive state of having eternal faith in SIP, so that we have to live as a child in the lap of the SIP, blissful, and secured.
But Rajendra, this is the difference I said. The child is in a mother's lap out of innocence.
But we have not to be innocent. We have to be unlearned after learning. Because of without unlearning,
consciousness.
Without unlearning, consciousness cannot come.
Like I'm saying, kuch log, they are in that childlike faith, but they are not yet. They have not crossed that level. What yourself saying? We have to cross that level.
Yeah, well, we have to become child. We have to become child because child is unlearning. After learning, after
realizing.
Realizing. Exactly, realizing, we will become we will go to child state and we will feel secured in the lap of divine.
Suppose you are in a child state without realizing.
No, that is not. That is nonsense. That is foolishness.
No, not foolishness. That is the first level of.
That is
the lower.
That can't be called surrender because that is next state of being.
No, that is also surrender, but that is innocent surrender. That is childlike surrender. We want to grow beyond.
Because at that state, the mind has not been fully developed by the thoughts. So that is surrender because of no mind. Is it correct?
So we don't want no mind.
We want to have. We want after developing the mind to kill it and to learn things and go for unlearning and become child.
Now you got it completely. Thank you. Mandeep, you have put your hand up, Mandeep, again.
Yeah, Shivam Guruji, I need to ask a question.
Yeah.
So there are certain situations in life where you have to take action. Like for example, in Gita, Arjuna is told that he has to take action against evil. So in those situations, how to decide whether we are supposed to take action or we are supposed to accept that situation as a prasada? So that's the dichotomy or that's the confusion which often a human mind comes across in life, I guess.
There is no dichotomy if you are in a state of consciousness. The dichotomy only comes when you are in a state of mind. Because the mind will make you make the wrong decision. If you are in that state of chit, of buddhi, of consciousness, then your intellect is awakened. And the intellect knows exactly what is right and what is wrong. So Mandeep, the challenge is if we are in a mind state, very many times we make, let me give you an example. You want to have an example, Mandeep?
Yes.
Today morning, I went to the book fair.
Okay.
We were late. We were late and we had to open 200 books and 8 cartons and we had to put up 15 posters and we had to do it in a matter of 59 minutes. So kya hua? We were in a state of, even a person like me who's normally in consciousness, we're in a state of hurry. And started cutting the boxes and started cutting this. I knew what's going to happen. The first thing happened is I cut my finger. The first thing happened, I cut my finger with a scissor. Luckily, the finger was cut only one dot. Only one dot. Only, I don't know if you can see, just one small, tiny dot. But this has happened when you're in the mind state. I myself knew that I had lost consciousness. I myself knew I was in the mind state. I knew something is going to happen wrong. And in a matter of seconds, I saw the blood is on my shirt. All the blood was on my shirt. So this is how we have to learn. We have to transcend. We have to go beyond. So this is where, Mandeep, if I was in consciousness state, I would say, kya farak padta hai? 5 minutes late hoga. Nothing to worry. I was pushed into mind state. And I tell you, no human being in this world is free from the mind state. Therefore, we have to be very conscious. We have to be, and I immediately realized in a matter of 1 minute, then from then onwards, it was only consciousness. Then 1 hour.
Sorry to interrupt, but there are more serious situations in life. For example, if you're going with your family and someone misbehaves with your, female of your family. So whether you tackle that situation with, action against evil, which Krishna has prescribed in Gita, or you just take it as that soul is misguided and let it go. So there are.
Yeah, so you have to use your intellect because I cannot give you a standard answer for every situation.
Correct.
I'll explain to you. See, for example, I'm just telling you, I am walking outside my house, and in about 15 feet away, there's a snake. Now that snake is not troubling me. I'm fine. The snake is far away. But somebody told me snake comes means he's an enemy. Krishna told Arjuna. So I go there and I try to take a stick and I try to hit the snake, and the snake attacks me and snake bites me. Now, see, this is the intellect we have to use. And the intellect has to be, Mandeep, used by an individual in the particular situation in consciousness. There is no standard right or wrong answer. So don't ask anybody right or wrong. Yes, you can ask your spiritual mentor if there's a particular situation. But I had a very difficult, let me tell you quickly. So I had to close my business. And I asked my guru, Dada, I asked him, Dada, Adha, ya full. Dada, Adha, ya full. Should I close half the business or should I close full the business? What he said? He said full. Now, here comes the mark. If I had surrendered to my guru, did I doubt him or did I follow him?
Follow.
I followed him. Next day, I closed my business. I didn't ask anybody else. I didn't ask my father. I didn't ask my father. I told my father, I'm closing the business. So, but many people told me I'm crazy, mad guy. So today we have come across so many different situations, and very interesting. Therefore, I tell you all, every day Zoom call teaches us something new. Every day Zoom call will take us one step ahead, one step ahead, one step ahead. And we have to evolve. We have to go forward. Thank you, Mandeep. Thank you for your good question. Quick, we have just 2 minutes left. Subinay, Bala, Krishna. Subinay.
Guruji, there is one confusion which I just wanted to clear today. Guruji, what is the difference between awareness and consciousness?
I have told you before, but listen to carefully. Awareness can be aware. You can be aware about anything. For example, you can be aware that there's a cockroach in the room, but this is not consciousness. You can be aware that the books that you have kept on your head, they are going to fall. Awareness is a very specific aspect of our concentration. But consciousness is thoughtlessness. Consciousness is a very vast subject. In consciousness, there is awareness, but in awareness, there need not be consciousness. Awareness ho sakta hai, kuch bhi. Suppose you are aware what I am going to talk, but you may not be in consciousness. But if you are in consciousness, then you will also be aware of what I'm going to talk. So awareness is the larger picture. Consciousness is the larger picture. Awareness is the smaller picture. Bala, and then Krishna. Bala.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam, Bala.
What is the standard measurement for consciousness, mind, and intellect? How can we measure? What is the standard measurement for that?
It's very simple. When you are, there's no measurement like time, 60 seconds in a minute. Not like that. There's no metric. Okay, yeah. But the moment you are in a state where thought is coming, thought, means you are in a mind state.
Yeah.
But if the thought is not attacking you, and you are in silence, and you are not bombarded by thought, and thoughts are coming slowly, you are in consciousness state. In this state of consciousness where you are able to discriminate a thought, right or wrong, black or white, yes or no, good or bad. When you are in an ability to discriminate, it means you are in the intellect state. When you are not able to discriminate, means you are in mind state.
Suppose if we take decision, if I want to take a decision, so how can I decide that whether it is a conscious stage or mind state?
Today I cut my finger. I had any doubt it was decision of consciousness, of intellect, or it was mind?
I think mind, sir.
Mind. Because I was hurrying up, hurry, haste, waste, hurry, worry. No, then it becomes you spoil. So you can make out, Bala. You pay attention to what I'm saying. When you are the master, you are in consciousness. You are in Satchidanand. You are in peace. You are riding the horse. You are the boss. The moment you're in mind state, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. You can make out. You can make out. You are nervous. You are worried. You feel like a stupid. This is a mind state. You can make out. You pay attention to what I'm saying, and you can make out the difference.
And intellect state?
In consciousness, only intellect will be there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Last,
hosh purvak.
Huh?
With hosh purvak, with full awareness.
Yeah, exactly. Krishna, bolo. Last, before we close, Krishna, please. Thank you. Krishna?
Yes, when you are speaking about surrendering, it is not situation to situation. It is also a state of realization, right? Only if you realize the truth, you can surrender to that divine.
It is
not that one day I surrender, next day I didn't surrender, now I surrender. It will not happen like that, right?
It is not only a state of surrender, not only a state of realization, you said. It is a state after realization.
Right.
In a state of, Krishna, when you reach a state of realization, what do you realize? You realize I am nothing, he is everything. You realize he is nothing. For men, it might be impossible, but for SIP, all things are possible. You go beyond that state of realization. You are living not as a Buddha, you are living as a Sthit Pragya, you are living as a Jivan Mukta. What is the meaning of Mukta? The meaning of Jivan Mukta is you have already let go.
Right. You have surrendered.
Surrender and complete surrender is a mark of liberation.
Right.
When you reach that state of complete surrender. So, my dear friends, with that note, we will, I think tomorrow we have another day at 8. I come from the book fair, I rush back to the book fair now, but we will see you tomorrow at 8 with folded hands.